Your inspiration of writing it in English, of telling this story, because so many English readers were unaware of these historical events, and you wanted to tell it in an English voice.
Okay.
But then, you know, that's one reason for choosing to write in English. But you don't take the easy path to write beginning, middle, and end. You take a very interesting path to do so, which is a fascinating choice as a first-time writer in English. So you kind of made things difficult for yourself in a way. So I'm wondering.
I dig a hole I couldn't get out of, you know. I probably would talk a bit first about the difficulty in writing in English. It's a funny thing, I would say. Writing in English, I mean, you don't know until you start, you know. I mean, in your first language, you've got this certainty. You've got this, what's the word for it? Assuredness, you know. And you kind of by instinct, you know there is a line between good taste and bad taste. But once you start in a second language, unfortunately, this line disappears. And then you start to feel like drifty. And when you find a word or expression, construct a sentence, you know the meaning of it, but you don't necessarily know the thousand shades of nuances that are buried underneath. You all of a sudden feel uncertain. Forever I feel my brain, during the process of writing, I feel like my brain is forever looking for my tongue. And the tongue is nowhere to be found, oftentimes. So this process of finding each other is difficult. And also, sometimes I need to make a quick decision whether I need to elaborate on certain things or to keep it brief, because a lot of the background information to a Chinese reader, they know very well already. There is no need to explain. But when you write in English, then judging from the reader's comments, I know a lot of stuff they don't really know. They can't take things for granted. Then I have to I have this strong desire, lust almost, to try to insert footnotes every other page. Then I realize that there'll be 10,000 pages of footnotes, you know, which would really impede the flow of writing or reading. Then I have to fight hard. Eventually, I decided to stay away from the footnotes.
I'm so glad you did. Footnotes in a novel, just no. Like, I'm so glad.
But then the sacrifice is you have to work the information cleverly, try to be cleverly into the sentence. And then sometimes if you read it, I warn you first, sometimes the sentence gets long and cumbersome and awkward, and that's part of my effort, try to not sort of insert footnotes, you know. So that's that part.
She's being modest. There aren't any long, cumbersome sentences. It's really beautifully written.
And the other part about the reverse order, a lot of people ask me the question of the arrangement of timeline. I think a lot of it has to do with my ambition or desire to try to keep the suspense. So I want to build the suspense. The main character, whose name is Ring, Chunyu in Chinese, she has so many dark secrets in life. And I have to reveal them one by one, bits and pieces, sort of throughout the book. But I want to keep the hugest, sort of biggest suspense till the very end. I want to achieve that explosive sort of effect. If I tell the story in a more sort of normal way, then very likely I have to give out the answer, like the first chapter. Then there is no suspense there, you know. So that's probably one of the subconscious sort of reasons.
I mean, that's a really interesting answer. I mean, it shows a lot of care for your readers. that you want to kind of engage them in the reading process and to hold things off, right? Don't give everything away kind of thing.